Hello there, folks, and welcome to session 12 of Dragon Age Secrets. I am, of course, your DM of Doom, Son of Asgard. No, not Son of Asgard. I changed my name like a long time ago, and I keep doing this. It's not Son of Asgard, it's Oops Allbrands. But of course today I am not here as Oops Allbrands. I'm here as the keeper of stories, the teller of tales, and the leader of our lovely game of Dragon Age Secrets. And with me today we have my lovely, my amazing, my phenomenal, my beautiful cast. We have got Jacklish, we've got TTV Wacky and we've got Stories from the Roses. We do not have our lovely, beautiful, witty ex-witch with us today, as they are off doing other fun and amazing adventurous things without us, which quite honestly is just a little bit fucking rude. I would have it been known that we should have been invited, because we are but amazing people. But what are we to do? Nah, totally joking. Abby, I hope you're having a lovely time. We love you dearly and we can't wait to have you back next week. Can anybody... Do I have anything that I want to say? No, I don't have anything I want to say. No, I don't. I'm just back from Paris. I need to move forward. So, I need to move on with my life, guys, okay? I need to leave Paris behind, alright? It was fun. It was great. We had an amazing whirlwind week, but I'm back in Scotland now. And I've not had any Iron Brew for like a week, so you guys are just going to have to... Guys, what happened last session, just while I drain a can of Iron Brew for the first time in 5 days? Cheers.
Cheers. I mean, I'm willing to go off a little bit, but...
Yeah. Do it!
Okay. Okay. Oh, no, wait, that was session... Wait, no. Session 10 is the one I missed, and that's my notes from the recap I got. So we got...
Honestly, it really sucks that you guys don't have this over there, because this is so fucking good.
Yeah, so no talk, only fight is one of the first pieces of notes I have. No talk, only fight. As I expected, Jack expected to round the corner and we have a little bit of banter. But, Renan would just said combat, and it's like, cool. So we took our positions, rounded a quarter, and then literally I think I have... Only note about combat is just combat spelled in all caps. Meryl perished for a few minutes. Not a few minutes, few rounds. No, it wasn't great. Hush, was not great. No, Meryl perished. It gave us all little useful trinkets and things. Not trinkets, they were like actually useful things. You gave me conditioner? Like,
it was hair oil.
It was hair oil, yeah.
Yep.
I know you gave me hair oil.
Yeah.
Tira was sobbing after reviving Meryl. Absolute goat of the session, I must say. For later reasons we'll get to as well. Alistair had a panic attack. Let's see. Renan? I keep saying Renan. I think I'm saying her name wrong.
It's Rhiannon, I think.
Rhiannon?
Right?
Thank you. I'm
Rhiannon?
looking at my name wrong. Yeah.
Because I had said it wrong when I gave the recap, so that's probably why you have it wrong, isn't mine.
Rhiannon checked in on Meryl's spirit to see if we had to, yay, we revived you. Oh, that's not you. So if we would get, twice the trauma, we did not. Entered the black market, a lot of peeps, intermingling people. There were Dwarven Carta, I think is how you say it, right? Carta members down there. Yeah. Some more Tevinters, and the Cunari from earlier, and the Finery. 2 mages were up for auction. One was the Cerebos, and the other was fucking Luca.
It's my son!
And then this is why Tira was the goat, because literally in my notes under Luca in all caps is Tira Persuasion Goat. Because, yes. Auctioneer made an example of Kidnapper. Push and Kunlat, Mercenary got soda canned. That's actually what I have in my notes, because I figured that worked well. We bought the Cerebos. Aldred had a control rod. Released him. I don't know if this... Not really intended as a name, but Aldred's going to call him just Tashath until he picks another new name, which just means calm. dropped But yeah, I hugged.
Yeah.
Aldred hugged the Cerebos, and Luca burned the ship as we left. And Jainen.
No, we're
And
Jainen.
Jainen. Yes, indeed.
Have I missed anything?
No, that's everything.
Yeah.
We are now in Jainen,
Yeah.
a little port town off of the northwest Banorn, one of the island regions, situated between Ferelden, and the majority body of the Waking Sea. It would be another fair long bit of travel north before you would reach the next piece of land, which, if we look at our handy dandy little map to remind us of where we are, as you can see, we are up here at the top left with the lovely place of Jainen. If we go up into the full map, you can see it's a fairly lengthy piece of travel before you would reach the next piece of land, which would be part of the free marches. From here, you'd be able to travel to the most popularly known place in the free marches, thanks to Dragon Age 2. That would be the city of Kirkwall. Funnily enough, there's a place in Scotland called Kirkwall. I went there. Not as many Templars as you'd expect.
Whatever shall we do? Oh no.
Oh man.
Oh no, no Templars.
Oh no, dang it. I'm free. Whoop, dang it.
Okay, we don't have the Templar sexual. We're okay. We'll survive.
The Abbey slander. Wow.
Not
Put that
slander.
in my notes.
Wow. Hey,
I'll admit, there's some good. There's
what sexuality is Vesa? Templar sexual. Very specifically, human Templar sexual.
It's true because she has admitted to.
Elven Templars, Dalish Templars.
I don't think there has ever been. I do not know of a moment in lore where you meet a Templar who is non-human.
Yeah.
Be crazy.
Well, now I know what my backup character is going to be just because I'm spiteful.
Okay,
I think
another one.
I think you can you can study the arts that Templars use, but it doesn't. But like, because you learn how to be a Templar doesn't mean you are within the Templar order. You can learn it and be
That is a
something
crack
else.
problem. I mean, lyrium.
Yeah, lyrium. Yeah, that magic crack.
Yep.
But yeah. So, with us arriving in Jainen, we're still at the docks. We just turned and started walking our way towards the city proper. So as you guys approach the walls to the city of Jainen, they are tall, they are old, they are that kind of stone that was possibly once grey like slate and pitted and rough, but because of the exposure to the sea air and being struck by high waves over the course of decades, they are now smooth. And they are a deep, dark, almost a deep navy tinge to the grey of these stones. Heavy wooden doors banded with metal, and they almost have like a portcullis attached to the front of them, split down the middle, are what stand here. They are open and they do have guards at the front of them. Now, as you guys walk in, you're walking in shoulder to shoulder. A horse and cart, upon which there sits a Templar and an elf. Then you have two elves who look quite rough, a human, quote unquote, who looks very prim and proper, a Kunari, and then a Kunari who's got a gold plate bolted to his face and something that covers his mouth.
We're gonna fix that later.
So needless to say, you do stand out. So I'm not even going to have you guys roll. The guards saw you the moment that you rounded the corner. And they come over to you guys. And, one of the guards, puts his hand up, making a motion for you to stop. Well, there's there's 4 or 5 other guards with him, and they kind of hang back. They don't draw their weapons, but they have their hands on their weapons. One of them has their hand resting on what you can see as a large brass horn.
Yeah.
We're gonna call the guard on us.
This is
Kill the chicken.
This is yeah. You kick the chicken, so now obviously everybody in the world hates you. Skyrim logic. This is your choice. You guys can try and talk your way out of this. You guys can try and maneuver your way out, or you can pass it to one of your NPCs and see what they do. This is up to you guys.
Well, we need to get in. We probably shouldn't make a scene.
You could ask Luca what he would do.
I could see.
He's
No.
gonna open him up like a can of blood. That's what he's gonna do. There's a blood soda pop. Just shake him up a little bit.
Aldrad, shake this human. Why? Because I want to see if he fizzes when I cast hemorrhage. Wait,
I thought you would like it carbonated.
Wait,
Would you like to?
Oh my god. What are you gonna do? If I learn force magic and blood magic, can I force pressure into the blood to carbonate it?
Stop! God.
I
Good
cast
thing I'm doing
carbonate
force and
blood.
spirit.
Like, it's literally what it is.
If sap counts as blood for plant creatures, and I can manipulate blood and force magic, does that mean if I put pressure into the sap to make it carbonated, I just made fizzy honey? Not fizzy,
That was way more
fizzy,
wholesome than
fizzy maple syrup.
gonna
Did I just make fizzy maple syrup? Because I kind of want to make fizzy maple syrup.
See, I thought your logic there was about. I thought your logic was about to be like, well, okay, if maple is, if
Guys,
sap comes from trees,
tell us
could I
in the
turn you into
comments.
Syrup.
Guys, tell us in the comments. Can you make a human being fizzy? Like, is what we're trying to figure out.
Do not tell us. I don't want to know. Personally.
Okay. Don't tell us in the comments. Don't tell us.
No,
But if
in
you
your
go,
heart.
but if you go to our TikTok at World Tree Quest, any of the videos related to Dragon Age, tell us: do you think you could make a human being fizzy? Personally, I'm on the side of don't knock it till you try it. But then again, as I've always declared, I am a TTRPG player who's obsessed with blood magic. So,
I hate it here.
welcome to Jainen. So yeah, how do
You
you?
know what? We have a cart. We have a cart. We'll just keep a mystery barrel in the back of it forever. Be like, what's that? It's one of Lucas'
Nothing.
experiments.
Nothing. Pay no attention to the man. I mean the liquid. I mean the thing inside the barrel.
I mean the soda.
Right, enough now.
Yeah.
Enough now. We've poked and prodded enough. Right.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, y'all.
Jason has given the hand of the hard stop. That's us. We stop now. So how are you guys? How are you guys getting past the gate? Are you passing it to an NPC, or do you guys want to take a stab at it?
The only thing I could do is seduce, and I don't think that's applicable.
For
I mean,
those
it
of
is
us,
always applicable, but
for those of you new to the Dragon
show
Age
some ankle.
TTRPG, for those of you new to the Dragon Age TTRPG system, in D&D there are jokes all the time about being made to seduce the dragon, but there's no rule for seduction. In Dragon Age, you bet you can roll to seduce. It's an actual thing, motherfucker.
Regular persuasion as a focus for communications. I mean, I could probably try.
We could certainly do that if you'd like to try and persuade. How are you going to try and persuade them to let you pass?
Well, I think the issue is I don't. Wait, what was the? This is Jack asking the keeper. What's the understanding of like what Jainen's like? What's the word for here? Like social and political structure? Because my brain has always sent like what I've seen. This is basically like a free city or like at worst a pirate city, basically.
Okay, so Jainen...
That might be a bit extreme.
Jainen exists like your typical little English hamlet town. Okay?
Okay.
The only difference is it exists on an island. That's it. So it's like a less of a village slash town, anything like that, and more of a very big community. Everybody knows everybody. You can't poop without people knowing the colour and shape. That kind of stuff, right?
He's taking to process that.
Sorry, that's a very Scottish way of describing it.
Great one.
You can't fart without people knowing the smell, right? Like that's just the kind of reality of living in these little kind of communities. All your business is known. You have no secrets.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
That is what I understand Jainen to be like. We don't have a lot of information on Jainen. All I know is that it lives there, is that it's there, and that there's certain levels of things that it has there. And through context clues, if it has this, it must have this. So, for instance, we know that Jainen is home to one of the circles that exists in Ferelden. We therefore assume that if there is a circle, there must be Templars. We therefore assume if there are Templars, there must be a Chantry presence. So therefore we assume there must be a Chantry. You know, you work it backwards like that. It's a coastal city, so you know there's got to be a dock, therefore dock workers, therefore more likely there's going to be some kind of inn nearby the docks. Lots of context clues and stuff come into it. The rest has kind of been built by myself.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I guess my brain here was more thinking like... Well, actually, this is, I guess, another important question. Since, obviously, Circle presence, Templar presence, Chantry presence, does that mean they would be under the rule of Ferelden? Or are they kind of like a city-state?
Jainen falls under the rule of Ferelden.
That's about what I figure. Okay.
I think, don't quote me on this, but as far as I can find out from what I've looked at, Jainen falls into the High-Ever Banner.
Yes. Okay.
So it would be ruled over by Arl Howe currently. Who we don't like, right? Arl Howe.
Well, that tells me what I should keep quiet about. Yes. Okay, I think I'll say Aldrad will make his presence known, but specifically he'll like hand Chainbreaker off. Okay, who the fuck can hold this? Oh, anyone can technically, but he'll hand Chainbreaker over to Rhiannon, and just like as a kind of a sign of disarming himself, basically, as he approaches the gate. He'll wait for the guard to speak first, though.
Okay.
I don't consent to search and seizure.
It's really funny you say that, because as you approach, the guy says, you know, we're invoking our right to search and see. I'm totally joking. No, so the guard comes over and goes, not often we get, you know, as varied a crew as yours moving through here without them being related to some form of nefarious intent. Do you mind pointing me towards the leader of this merry band of brigands?
Aldrey kind of looks around.
Sorry.
Little... I don't have much of a leader, and brigands I feel like is assuming a bit much, but I know we're a bit peculiar.
I mean, have you
I'll
seen
speak for us.
You've seen the size of that sword that you got?
I handed it off. We don't mean you any harm. You have a lovely city.
I get it, I do. But like, think of it from like our point of view. You know, somebody wanted to do you harm. The first thing they'd say is, "I'm not going to do you any harm."
Oh, I mean,
so,
you bring up a solid point indeed. Well, that's why I left the sword back there, actually, so I could meet you on more comfortable terms, I would hope.
I've got to give it to you. That's a fair approach. Yeah. Far be it from me to be narrow-minded as to not have my opinion changed when empirical evidence is shown and forthcoming. So, what's your...
Well-spoken man.
Well, I mean,
I endured this guy already.
It it behooves oneself to research on things when one can, don't it? Otherwise, you remain ignorant, and ignorant just promotes a communal sense of societal fear, which never goes away unless we face the issue at the heart of the problem.
As new companion just dropped.
We're taking this guy with us.
If I have to
We
rewrite
roll.
this motherfucker as a companion, I'm going to be so mad. So, what brings you to the fair city of Jainen today?
Visiting an old friend of yes, visiting an old friend. Hard to say on. Couldn't describe him, unfortunately. He was only given a location, a vague sense in the city. I've never been to Jainen before, but I'm told he's here.
Oh, right, I get it. As my father used to say, secrets are a bit like your personal health and well-being. None of anybody else's fucking business.
Father was a smart man, and he raised a smart man as well.
He
I don't
was-
want to assume.
He was a smart man, but he did once run back into a burning house to save some smoked beef that he'd been preparing from the night before. So, swings and roundabouts, really.
Valid.
I don't know
Valid.
what a swing or a roundabout is, to be honest with you, but I've heard the phrasing before, swings and roundabouts.
He's got his priorities straight, I think.
Oh,
Well,
he's
he
done-
at least knows his priorities.
He's definitely got priorities. Whether they're straight, my friend, I have no idea.
Better not to assume.
Better not to assume. That's what I always say. Okay. Well, how about this? I have my friend. He owns the local tavern. You go there. You show a sign of good faith. Pay for however long you're staying up front, and we'll allow you to keep moving around with your weapons and your belongings and your whatnots.
That
Sound reasonable.
That sounds like a more than fair deal, my good man.
Absolutely fantastic. What you're going to want to do is, right, you're going to want to go through the gates, right? Now, the gates are big and imposing. I do understand it, but trust me, they're lovely. They really are. You should see them on the inside. Sometimes we have the children paint them from the inside, because otherwise it's just boring
Precious.
and drab and dreary. You're going to go in here.
Absolutely.
You're going to go in here and you're going to go past the graveyard. The graveyard's at the closer to the entrance walls of the city, because otherwise the salt air goes up to the high ends of the land and it starts to cause the ground to go a bit kerfuffly. And then, before you know it, bodies are rising up to the surface, and then kids are running around screaming because they see hands poking out the ground and stuff. So, you go past the graveyard, first building on the right-hand side, lovely place by the name of the Griffin's Wing. Go in there, you're going to ask for Willem. Willem is the tavern keep, he's the owner, and he'll be able to get you upright and sorted, alright?
Absolutely, my good man.
Fantastic, I'm just going to get you waved through right now. Wave them through, and you guys are allowed to pass on through.
It is precious and must be protected at all costs. No darkspawn are allowed to touch this guard. He is too good for this.
I'm
My
wishing
good
I
man,
seduced
actually.
him.
My good man. What was your name?
Oh,
I want to make sure Willem knows who sent me.
My name's Colm.
Colm. Good mess. Pleasure to meet you, Colm.
Pleasure to meet you, sir. And your name, my friend?
Aldrad.
Aldrad. Right. Not a standard Kunari name as far as I'm aware.
Like I said, we're a bit of a interesting bunch.
Oh, yep, that is that. Don't far be it from me to decry what people are, gonna address themselves as and whatnot. So yeah, just you going on through and have a good day. Enjoy yourself in the city of Jainen.
Absolutely plan to.
And then he's gonna kind of put his hand up and then. I don't know if I'm going to say this right, and if I do apologise. But, and it very, very brokenly, right? And I very like the way Americans would speak, bonjour.
Hold on.
You know?
Hold on.
Excuse
Settle
you.
down.
Like,
I have a fantastic French accent.
but like the way Brad Pitt spoke Italian in Inglourious Bastards, you know?
Okay, that's so fair.
Right.
Better. Now I understand.
No, right, like that. It kind of goes, Pakra Marat.
What would I be able to
He's
deduce?
speaking. He's saying to you, go with the tide. He's taking something they would probably say as like a "have a good day" and putting it into Kunlat. The meaning doesn't really translate in the way he's intending it, but you know enough about Ferelden culture that he's trying to put something he would say into Kunlat words. It just doesn't really work out.
He's saying something very literally in Kunlat is kind of what I'm getting.
It's like trying to say Schadenfreude in French. It doesn't really work.
There's a reason we say the word Schadenfreude. Like, that word makes the sense. It does.
It's like that.
Then I will simply just say back to him, Shathala, my thanks.
Shuffler. Right, okay. See, learn something new every day. Feigning off ignorance. Have a good day. And then he turns right to her and says, "Whoa, little lady, you can't enter the city with that many chickens, I'm afraid. It's just not allowed."
I want to know how many chickens she has. Just the whole army of them?
Let's see. How many? 3d6 is what we usually roll. So let's roll 3d6. How many chickens is too many? 9. You can't enter the city of Jainen with 9 chickens.
Only 8. 9 is just
8,
absurd.
strictly 8 livestock and below.
Gosh,
It's like that dog rule for Baldur's Gate. You can only the chicken economy is in shambles in Jainen.
So many chickens, they just don't want you contributing to it. Like, chickens are to Jainen as pigeons are to New York City.
For every person in Jainen,
I have
5 chickens.
massively underestimated how many pigeons there are in New York City. There's just you cannot move in this little island town without kicking a chicken.
And then the town guard gets called on you.
Oh yeah.
You just see.
What did we say about fighting off the grips of ignorance? And now you're here kicking poultry.
Kicking poultry.
Is it usual for your band of brigands to go around and pugilize the poultry population? Or is it... What were your
I
crimes?
just love that this guy has a 50-cent vocabulary. He's just killing it.
I gift this guy a thesaurus for Christmas, and he's been putting it to good use.
This guy's waiting for a place to use the word egregious properly.
We're gonna go to the town. We're gonna go to Jainen's library, and there's just gonna be a picture, like a painted picture of Combe on there as like top donator. Or like he's always here.
Jokes on you. Comb's actually the town librarian as well. You know, like
He
the guy.
expects to greet people to use his vocabulary.
You know, like the guy in
He's like
you know, like the guy in Avatar who's got 3 brothers, but they're all just him wearing different hats and doing different jobs. That's cool.
We're gonna see Combe at least 3. We're gonna see him at least 2 more times. Please God, I need to.
You know, Combe said his friend Willem. That's actually just Combe with a mustache. Best NPC I've ever made. Best NPC I've ever made. Right. Anyway, so you guys are now through the gates into Jainen. Jainen looks like cobblestone little streets. Okay. Where there isn't cobblestone, where there's more paths of desire. If you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's been walked so much it's just become like a dirt path.
Yes.
Okay.
Where that has happened, it's almost like people have just built this little township, cityship around it. So where a cobblestone wall has at one point followed only this street, but a path of desire has, from people jumping over the wall and such, the wall's been knocked down and repurposed to now include this new little walkway into it. They just haven't got around to cobblestoning it yet. So it's got quite a the roads and streets aren't really structured like a city would be. They're kind of higgledy-piggledy all over the place, you know? That's a very Scottish turn of phrase, sorry about that. Higgledy-piggledy.
No, I love it.
All over the place.
You're giving me so many good turns of phrase, and I'm going to use in my higgledy-piggledy. That's great. Are you kidding? That's so mystical. I love it.
Wait till I try to explain to you what I mean when I say the bog standard. Bog standard's like the basics, like, you know, if somebody says that, you know, oh, I've only got bread and milk in the house, you're like, oh, the bog standard.
That's where that comes from. I've been saying that and I've never known that. I just always considered it bare minimum.
That is it, the bog standard.
Ah.
So, like, this iron brew, this one here, this is bog standard iron brew, whereas this is the fancy iron brew. But this is your bog standard.
Now I'm getting it.
Right.
We're all learning new things today.
Welcome to Jainen, land of the vocab. As you make your way through Jainen, you know, the weather's grey, overcast. It's kind of bright. It's, you know, there's a bit of brightness to it, but grey and overcast. There's a bit of rain. Like we did say before, you know, as you're getting here, as you're getting into Jainen, you are getting to that kind of like turning point in the time of the day. So you are verging into the kind of, you know, beginnings of the evening.
Well, the Peacock doesn't play until midnight, right? That's what we said on our notes.
So you don't know if the Peacock plays before or after midnight. You do know that they switch their instrument from a lute to a lyre at midnight.
Right.
After a while, you come across this lovely little kind of like... There's bits of wood on the buildings here, but most of your buildings here are solid stone. Because wood next to the coast, rotten. So this lovely kind of like pebble-cobbled wall has that like an arcing canopy, but again, very strangely, instead of like thatch or wooden roofs, slates. Which, as much as that may be quite normal for us as players to understand, not really the norm here. Only big, grand, fancy houses in Ferelden would have, like, cobbled or stone roofs. Same as with Orlais. I mean, well, actually, no, it's not the same with Orlais. It's kind of like common in Orlais would be stone roofs. Little creaky sign hanging out on those kind of like rusty metal kind of swingy hinges. With an image of like a griffin, but as if you were top down, so you can see its wings spread, and across its wings it says the Griffin's Wing. Sounds quite boisterous. It's quite a good wee sound. There does seem to be music playing from in there. There's a couple other things, shops and such, which you can see, but they do appear to be closed right now. Maybe it's came to the end of the business day. Somewhere into the depths of Jainen, you can hear the sound of a hammer ringing on an anvil. Smith that's probably working through the night on something for someone. That's really the only sounds other than the docks and other than your general hubbub of human interaction. So what would you guys like to do?
We were told to go straight to the inn and be like, hey, we're gonna pay to stay here. Here's our good faith. Please don't arrest us for kicking chickens, you know? So...
Well, there's still time to kick some chickens. This is more just to make a good... like, just,
apparently there's plenty of them
here.
on the island, so go for it. Like, kick a chicken.
We just have to find the 9th chicken that somebody brought in and be like, no, not that chicken. That chicken's not allowed.
We need to be in compliance with the Poultry Pugilation Act, where we must show we are in good faith so that it is not assumed we will kick chickens.
It's not the Poultry Pugilism Act, it's the Poultry Population Pugilism Proclamation.
There we go. Thank you.
Or as they call it, the 4 Ps.
The 4 Ps.
Peas.
What did you say? Poultry population. Wait. What did you say? I'm right.
Poultry Pugilism Population Proclamation.
Yeah, I'm writing in my notes. That's why.
Okay, so that means I've got it written now.
And there will be no context to this. There's simply going to be the 4 Ps and then that's it. I will know what they mean.
I'll get down from the cart, put my hood up, and get ready to go in.
Yeah.
Okay. Luca will do the same thing as you, following your lead, hopping off and pulling the hood up immediately, so that his ears are covered. Our new Kunari friend just kind of stands and is like looking around, very, very blatantly, like not even hiding his appearance whatsoever, just like, you know, like looking at people as they walk by and looking inside windows of like houses and such, and just being like, this gold-plated face looking in your window.
Yeah, I was meant to say we gotta get that off of him. Is Aldrad's like first thought of just let's just yeah, we gotta get that off him, but that'll be a later thing.
That's a problem for later, Aldrad.
I think Aldrad will actually, because he doesn't have this one doesn't he doesn't have horns, right?
He does have horns, but they have been
Okay,
they have been sawed. As is common
Like
as is common practice for Sarabas, their horns are usually shaved or broken or cut off. He appears to have had maybe a kinder earlier Arvarad, because his horns appear to have been filed or shaved. They haven't been cut or broken. They appear to, like, so they go back as typical Kunari horns do. At one point, they probably, you know, fairly similar to yours, curved up at the back of his head, but from where they would curve up, they have been very evidently, as would be the common practice, of cutting them there, but instead of just leaving it as sharp-edged flat parts, they've been buffed and filed and rounded down.
Understood. I think then Aldrad would actually hand Aldred would hand to Shah his cloak with just the phrase, our appearances here usually make people a little uneasy.
Without batting an eyelid, so used to following orders that are given, he takes it immediately and wraps it round. And he does this thing. When Luca and Tira put their hoods up, they put their hoods up. That's it. When he puts hood up, he puts his hood up, and then he grabs the edge of the cloak and pulls it around. Like hiding his full, like his understanding of it is very literal, so he's hiding his full appearance.
I think Aldred will just kind of nod. We'll work on that, my friend. Let's get you a bed. So Aldred, no cloak, full Kunari stuff.
Cool. Tara, you've put your hood up. Meryl, what about you?
I think I've just kind of been dissociating this whole time. I think like seeing Aldrad without a cloak, she'll offer hers because she doesn't really need to hide herself. Which will be hilarious considering she's, like 5'6" to his enormous frame, so it'll be like a little like a little capelet on him, but she'll offer it anyway.
The thought is appreciated greatly, Meryl. You can keep your cloak, though.
Yeah. She'll just quietly keep walking.
We need to ask about lodgings for our good Sir Cuthbert.
So Rowan will kind of like, I can take care of Sir Cuthbert, but please don't feel the need to burden yourself with my or his care. I'll happily pay my own way as I travel with you.
Isn't a burden.
It says that, speaking of paying my own way, I have to report to the Chantry to collect my stipend. I will be back here in perhaps 15 minutes.
Take the time you need.
And he'll leave the car, unhitch Cuthbert from the car, mount up on Cuthbert, and then kind of like, okay, come on. He doesn't ever use his heels or anything. There seems to be a kind of bond between him and Cuthbert where like all he does is click, and Cuthbert knows, oh, okay, I'm supposed to be moving now.
He's so loving to his horse. Can Meryl grab him like so fast while he's like a little ways away? So just like trot up and like kind of like pat his calf as he's up on
It kind of gives the reins, not like a shark tug, but more like just a little bit of pressure to let Cuthbert know, oh, you need to stop here. And he kind of like, Meryl, is everything okay?
If the circle asks at any point whether Tira or I are under your care, tell them Tira is. I've navigated circles before, Tira hasn't, so.
I will be very careful in my choice of words so as not to arouse any suspicion to anyone. And he'll give a kind of look back towards Tira, but also towards Luca.
Oh yeah, we've got 3 mages! Oh no, my son!
You've got 4 mages.
Oh yeah, we've got 4 mages!
One of them doesn't look like a mage, though.
One of them doesn't look like a mage. One of them looks like a feral child, and one of them has got a giant piece of gold strapped to his face that kind of symbolizes that he is a fucking mage. Not only a mage, an untrained mage.
We need to get that off of him pronto.
Jason, you were going to say something there.
No, it's fine. I'm good. I'm
No,
not gonna say nothing.
it's just like no. Enough has been said. Okay.
There's so many mages. Okay.
He is then going to say, Meryl, you have to be aware that at some point the Templars are going to find them. I will keep my promise that I will not alert Templars to their position. But even I have to follow orders when orders are directly given. I'm not going to go out of my way to make sure they get caught. But if we get caught together, and I am ordered to bring them in, I have family, and I have friends who are known to the Order. I have to think of them as well.
That's expected.
I was like, yep, it's only a matter of time until he betrays him. Not after the crew.
And then he will turn and carry on back on his merry way. Do the rest of you go inside the Griffin's wing?
I follow whatever the group is doing. As Tira has still not really come back to me yet.
Cute.
We'll go in, and because he was told to, specifically earlier, just like, alright, searching for old Willem.
Okay. Behind the bar, there's a fairly large, boisterous man. Long dark hair, full beard, very, very large barrel body. This man is mythologically accurate Thor. Broad shoulders, broad chest, big round belly, but at the same point, this guy moves his arms and you see muscles just ripple and warp under his skin. This man has spent his life evidently moving oak barrels of all kinds of alcohol, cases of bottles of wine and such. He is used to heavy lifting, he's used to being active. His round and portly frame is not of unhealth. It is a strong man's body. He's built like Eddie Hall.
That also works, yeah.
Right? There's a better way to describe it. As you step in, he kind of sees you and he goes, Oh, welcome, weary travellers. Welcome to the Griffin's Wing. My name is Willem. I'm the owner and the proprietor of this amazing establishment. What can I do for you? Food, drink, a room for the night, place to rest your weary head?
A pleasure to meet you, Willem. Willem. One Colm had sent me, and I was instructed, but also I would have happily done this anyway.
I do
The name's
know
Aldrad.
Colm instead, meaning that you lot are new to Jainen. What'd you say your
That
name
obvious?
was? That was Aldrad, you
Aldrad.
said, yeah? Right. And you
Yes.
the rest of your lovely band, what are your names? If you're willing to give them, of course. Now, not be said, I'm a barkeep who has his manners about him.
Tira.
Tira, nice to meet you. And Luca will kind of just look at him like... He just kind of goes,
She'll nudge Luca.
Luca? Luca? Right. Goes along down the line. Obviously, your Kunari friend doesn't say anything, just kind of stands there. Kind of, maybe one can gives a, alright, cool. Going on down the line, he's going to get to yourself, Meryl.
Cheers. Meryl.
Meryl, lovely to meet you all. Well, what can I do for you all?
We got some business meeting with a friend in Jainen and hoped that we could be put up here for a night or two.
A night or two? Certainly I can do that. Is it individual, double, group rooms? What would you prefer?
What rooms do you have? But doubles would probably be the most effective for us all.
Okay, so we have single rooms which offer a bit more privacy, a bit more of a comfortable stay. Single rooms are 3 silver each night. Then we have double rooms. Double rooms, you know, you share it with someone. Fairly standard. It's 2 silver pieces per night. And then we have group rooms. Group rooms will sleep 10 people. If you've got a group of 10, it can work out in your favour. But if you don't have a group of 10 people, if you've got, say, 6 and then 4 people arrive looking for a room, they can also take that room as well. So you can be in with some strangers if you don't know what you're doing.
I think we have 7.
Okay, 7.
I trust I trust Jason's math more than mine.
I think you're right.
Okay.
Okay, so 7. So at the moment, I'm counting in front of you 2 of yourselves, you 2 and you 2. I'm counting 7 of you right now. Yeah, so 7 would do that. So he's counting Aldrad, Vesa, Tira, Meryl, Luca, your Kunari friend that you currently have, and then then you'd also have Rhiannon, and then you'd have.
Oh, there's 8 of us.
There's 8 of you
There's
in total.
8 of us, yeah.
But you've said 7, so he sees 7 right now. If one of you wants to make the correction.
We actually have 8. One of ours is handling business in town.
Oh, okay. Well, as it so happens, I do have 4 double rooms available if people don't mind bunking up together. Or if anybody would prefer solitude, I can definitely offer that as well.
Aldrad will look to his 2 party members who have gone through the shit today and ask, would you either of you want solitude?
If you don't mind, I prefer it.
I don't think I'd mind. I just mean who stays with who. Could get 2 singles, but unless someone wants to sleep on the floor of a double.
Meryl will do that. She doesn't care.
Oh, Meryl gets a bed. The funny thing is, that's like half Aldrad, half Jack. I'm just like, no, shut up. Like,
So if Tura gets a single, you could also put Rhiannon in a single. Then you could get 3 doubles and split them up between whoever needs them.
I think that's probably actually the best. So yeah,
Cool.
give Rhiannon a single since she did. Gonna pay for Rhiannon since she did help us get a friend.
Yeah. So now you have to decide who's in the doubles.
I have a sense no one's gonna be comfortable with our Cunari friend aside from Aldrad, so Aldrad will stay with our Cunari friend.
Meryl will just be like, tell me everything you know.
She'll be so curious.
Okay, here's the dilemma though. Are we putting the lovebirds in a room together? Or are we putting
That's not the
Luca
one.
with one of the lovebirds?
So if you go by what you've done right now, you've got Tura in a single room, Rhiannon in a single room. So now here's your options with a double room, right? If you put Aldrad and then your new Kunari friend, you have 2 double rooms left and 4 people. Here are the possible combinations. The Blood Mage and the Templar. The Dalish girl who hates the Blood Mage and the Blood Mage. Or the Dalish girl and the Templar who really like each other but don't know how to say it to each other.
I'm sure
do
they'd
that
figure
one.
it out.
So, honestly, I think the best of both worlds, the best possible outcome is just to put the 2 awkward lovebirds together and hope the walls are thick.
That's gonna be so great. Sir Rowan comes back and it's like, man, I haven't been back to Circle in a while. It's been a minute. What did you do? So how's the living situation? So you're with Vessa. All right. Just drop that on him.
Okay, so Tura alone, Rhiannon alone, Luca and Meryl.
Tis mother. My child.
That's my boy!
Vesa and
Mother
Sir
Mother Hill.
Be good. And then Aldrad. And what is it you called him again? You called him Calm, yeah?
I'm calling him Tasha. At least Aldrad is not given him this name per se. It's simply the word that he's associating with him. If Arcunari likes this and decides that'll be my name, then he can use it. It's just the name. It's just the word he's using to help de-propagandize, decode this poor guy.
Absolutely understood. Okay. So with that, you are given the keys to your rooms. He informs you, if you go just up these stairs here, and he points to stairs next to the bar, it takes you up to the rooms that we have. The rooms that you're looking for are going to be number 9, number 10, and then numbers 1, 3, and 5.
Understood.
And then it'll go, 9 and 10 are the single rooms. 1, 3, and 5 are the double rooms.
Had figured with how it had been organized. How much will that be in total for 2 nights?
In total for 2 nights, you're talking 6 silver per single room. So that'd be a total of 12 silver. And then it would be 6 silver. Sorry. Yeah, and then 4 silver in total for each of the double rooms. So that would be a total coming out into 24 silver pieces, or 2 gold and 2 silver pieces, whatever your carrying capability is.
Aldrad will slam down the rest of.
Thought in Dragon Age it was 100 silver per gold.
Let me double check that.
I might be getting it confused.
Because then
I think it is 100 gold.
And then if that's the case, I have put it in D&D money terms, so I'll change the money pricing slightly. Just let me double check it just to confirm.
Yep. I have a weird feeling that that's what that is. And I can't
Listen,
remember why.
absolutely fair. Just let me find the coinage.
Because I remember
Pardon
being
me?
like, this is like D&D money, and you guys were like, no, honey. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Like, gold is way more valuable here. And I was like, oh, okay, my gold. Mine.
Gold is like, oh wow, it's like actually worth what gold should be worth. That's strange.
Yeah.
It's not just dollar. Like,
I can just
So true.
quickly Google it if you want.
here's a solid gold coin. It is worth a singular USD.
By all means, I've started like this, so I have to finish it.
Totally fair.
It's so valid.
I feel like we have been going with 100 silver as 1 gold because I remember having like 74 silver, and I don't know if I would have just actually we could have just grabbed 74 silver, and then that was also split up into like 2 gold, like those were 2 separate things. As in, like we had
One
gotten
gold
2
coin
gold.
is worth 100 silver
Oh, right,
and
one-
10,000 copper.
Yeah.
10,000 gold. Oh my god.
Yeah, because 100
I mean,
copper
yes,
would make
that's
up.
good. That's how it would be, but oh my gosh.
Right, okay, so in that case, add a 0 on to every one of those. So for a single, so it'd be 30 silver per night.
30 silver per night.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Got 70 silver.
Well, wait, that still, I mean, it still works out as less than 1 gold.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense because it's telling me here that lodging for 1 week in a private house, one singular house, would be 20 gold pieces. So that's working out as about right for 2 days in what is essentially the same room makeup of a house. So yeah. Yeah, it's saying here, lodging for 1 night in a private room in an inn would be 2 silver pieces. So a lodging in a room for just yourself alone, single room, absolute nobody else, I'd put that as three silver pieces, 2 silver pieces for a double. That's what I'd put that, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so that's each. So that's in total 30. So 60 total since we're doing 2 nights.
No, so that's what I'm
Or
saying.
30.
So that's what I'm saying. The lodging pricing that I've given is correct. So it would be it would still be the silver pieces that I've given you. So 2 silver pieces
So
per
still
night.
24 silver.
Still 24 silver. So still 24 silver.
Aldrad will slam down the rest of his money because I have exactly 24 silver pieces.
Fantastic.
I'm the one doing the talking. I get to spend the money. I put my credit
I
card
don't
in
have
the
any,
restaurant
so.
before we even got here.
I am libroke. So,
now I am broke with you.
yeah.
Meryl will be paying for things from now on.
How much has Meryl
now
got?
she has the money. She's
Vesa has all the fucking money.
She's got 70 gold and 70 silver and 7 gold. Because that's left over from what Osric gave them
Yeah.
at the beginning.
Gotcha.
70 gold. Huh?
We've got like
Pardon?
500 in that chest.
That's what Vesa's got. She's like rolling around with 50 gold in her pocket. Like,
That is also a solid reminder that you guys do have that chest
Yeah, it had
that's
like
just
500
filled
in there
with
or something.
500 gold coins.
We're gonna save that for a rainy day. I'm the kind of
that's for
the
the
rainy
beach
day
episode.
hoarder where I'm like, no, these are my resources. I can't use them till the very end.
That's for the beach episode.
Yes, exactly.
We all get, swimsuits, and we get to go run in the
And little
water.
hats.
Exactly. Little drinks
Matching
with umbrellas in
t-shirts.
them.
Little drinks. Let me tell you about the places that are analogous to the place where you have little drinks in your umbrella.
Or
That's
like-
that's a lovely coconut drink there with a little umbrella in it. Is it laced with poison? Could be, because you're in Antiva.
That's
Or
so
Ravani, but what most likely that means is that that's got a sleeping draft in it, and everything you own is about to be stolen off your unconscious body.
Listen, You're not wrong.
But let us
It's like,
have
is
this,
that-
okay?
You're not
That
wrong.
with poison,
You're
it's
not
like, yeah,
wrong,
it gives the
but-
drink a kick.
You're not wrong, but shut up about being right. Like,
Yeah, I don't like your words. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't like your words.
Meryl almost died. She needs this.
I need this, you guys.
Take my
So,
key and go upstairs.
You're taking your key and going upstairs. Fantastic. Okay, so Tira, the room is quite comfortable actually. Bed is a good bed. There is also like a large wooden tub. And like a place to have a bath. You would have to obviously ask somebody to come and draw you one.
Oh, sure.
They'd have to come and prepare it. Probably take about half an hour to prepare it for you. But somebody, obviously, there's people who work in this inn who are scullery maids, chambermaids and such. So they would be the ones that would come and they would fill your bathtub for you. They're all made up, all the rooms are made up mostly the same way. Just picture it like a hotel room as you would. Single room, you have a bed, you have a bedside table, you have a chair to sit in, and you have a tub. If it's a double room, what I described, slightly larger room, 2 beds. Still only one
We
bathtub.
haven't bathed. We haven't bathed since the beginning.
I mean, we've been rained on. That counts.
No.
Probably camping next like rivers and lakes in order to give yourself like a kind of dip and clean.
Sure.
But like a proper hot water scrub kind of thing? Nah, definitely not. Not been able to do that since before the start of the campaign.
So, skipping no time, dropping my bag, and immediately running to go find someone to draw me a bath.
Okay. You run back downstairs. Willem sees you and is there something wrong with the room?
No, I was wondering if you could send hot water up for a bath.
Of course. Just take us about half an hour to boil the water that's drawn. But yeah,
Absolutely fine. Absolutely fine.
Of course, I'll have one of the chambermaids bring up the water and get it drawn for you.
Thank you so much.
And then she'll run back up the stairs.
Okay. Let's go to Meryl. Meryl, you and Luca step into the room that you're going to be sharing, and Luca immediately starts looking around at the floor as if scanning for a place that he's going to sleep.
Luca, you're gonna sleep on a bed.
I don't know. They're soft.
Oh, the mattress is too soft?
Being soft means you get comfortable, and comfort means you're weak, and if you're weak, you can't fend off demons.
Willpower and comfort aren't analogous. You can be comfortable and still practice self-discipline. Are you calling me soft? Weak?
He kind of frowns, but he frowns in a very defensive way. Not defensive of him, but defensive of you. As if like, well, no, nobody ever gets to call you soft and weak. That's not allowed. And then because he frowns like that, you can see him kind of internally frowning to himself. Like, no, that's not what I'm doing. But it is kind of what I'm doing, and therefore I'm mad at myself for having said that, because that's not true. And then he has this kind of like inner dialogue with himself, as you can see, and then I will sleep on a bed.
Okay.
And he's going to look at it and like, how does it work?
She'll go up. She'll like pull the covers back. She'll be like, so you sleep between, and she'll like pull the sheet up. You have the sheet, and then you've got the bed, and the sheet helps keep the blankets clean, and then you just rest your head on the pillow.
And where are the restraints?
You don't have to have restraints with us.
He just kind of nods. And then he just kind of sits awkwardly on the edge of the bed. Are circles dangerous?
In some ways, yeah.
Do you agree with the circles? Do you agree that we should be taught how to control and how to adhere to a singular line?
I think it's useful to have self-discipline and to be able to utilize our magic in the way that we want to use it. So in that way, yes. But I don't think we should have to adhere to a certain standard of principles. I just think it's best for us to be able to use our magic without the fear of hurting somebody because we can't control it.
My father used to talk like that. The keeper didn't like that. The keeper had him fed to the tunnels. I think if I had been braver, I would also have been fed to the tunnels.
Well, I'm glad that at that time you weren't. Because then we wouldn't have gone to meet. But now that you're not in that situation, you get to choose what you want. And I'm not going to feed you to a tunnel, depending on your choice.
Can you teach me?
Magic and self-discipline and things like that?
I like who I am discovering that I am. And I do not want to be Fenharel.
And yes, I can absolutely teach you.
He will then just kind of like slowly drift down sideways until he's just lying on the pillow, lying on his side. Shemlin sleep weird.
We do.
You're not entirely Shemlin, are you? You try to hide it, but you sometimes when you play with your hair, you can see the tips of your ears.
Yeah, I'm not fully Shemlin.
I think that's why we get along.
Why do you say that?
Shemlin don't like us. You like me, and I like you. So therefore you can't be fully Shemlin.
Most Shemlin don't like elves, but like Sir Ron. Some of them are okay.
Sir Ron is a weird human.
He's a very weird human.
He talks to his horse.
He does.
That's really
He
strange.
sings to his horse.
That's strange.
Never best to talk about it.
Vesa is a strange elf as well.
I mean, I think she might say the same about you.
That would be understandable.
Maybe we're all just strange in our own ways, and we just happen to have strangeness that is amiable to each other.
She lies.
I am normal, thank you.
She lies.
I don't
all
know
the,
what
she,
you're talking about.
She lies all the time. She acts like she doesn't like the human man, but she does. You can tell by the smell.
I'm sure you can.
You
I
all,
don't have quite the same nose as you, but I
you all,
trust her.
you all smell different when you feel different things.
I didn't know that feelings have smells, but that's interesting.
Bodies do different things when you feel different things. I can smell them.
I usually go off sight and sound, so between the two of us, we've got 3 of the 5 senses. We're doing well.
Sight can be misled, and sounds can be lies.
True. That's true. You kind of have to learn the subtle differences in those kinds of things. But you can't really fake smell, so...
I can teach you how to smell if you like.
Sure. I'll teach you magic, you teach me how to properly smell feelings.
Okay. And he's going to smile and say, "You're a good keeper, Meryl." And then he just kind of does that thing that he does the thing that he sees humans do, where they just kind of lay back and shut their eyes. He's very evidently not sleeping, but that's like, he's like, this is what the Shemlin do.
And she'll take the blankets and she'll like tuck him in.
I love how
And I think
you're like what, 6 years older than this kid, and you're like, he is my child. How old is Meryl? Just as a reminder.
25.
25. Okay, so she's
She's
like 8 or 9 years
Almost
older than him,
yeah.
and she's like, this is my son.
Yeah, she's 25, but in spirit, she's like 1,000 years old. She's like a crotchety grandma in a 25-year-old body.
Meryl did get called an old soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there,
She's a decrepit soul. She's not an old soul. She's a decrepit soul.
Soul.
is there, her soul creaks when it stands up out of chairs.
Her soul's turning to dust, it's so old.
Is there anything else you would like Meryl to do?
Yes, but it involves Aldred, and I know Aldred's gonna have his thing with Shoth, so I might hold off.
It's not going to be a very long thing. I feel like Tashath doesn't seem like one to hold a conversation.
You never know. You can communicate with other than words.
This is true. This is true.
So for right now, I think Meryl will just kind of sit next to Luca on his bed and just kind of maybe stroke his hair, rub his back to help him fall asleep. But later on, she does have something with Aldred she would like to do.
Okay. Let's just go to... let's go to Aldrad and Tashath. As soon as you go into your room, Tashath just stands awkwardly in the corner.
No, you're not. You're... Okay. Goodness. If it's not evident, I have been a bit of a ways away from the ways of from the teachings of the Q for a moment. So you might find me a bit of a... You might find me a bit different. When I mean different, I mean I'm not going to ask you to stand in a corner and take my words extraordinarily literally. You know it's going to be hard to adjust to, but Aldred's going to start and just point at the bed. But that's going to be where you're going to sleep. Okay? If you don't want to sleep there, you do not have to. If it is easier to simply follow what I'm saying, we can start there.
He walks over and he kind of presses his hand into the mattress. kind of shakes his head very gently and just mutters like loud enough that you could hear, but kind of like this is the kind of volume he would speak to an Arvarad, never speaking above a certain volume, and it just says the words Shukra to Ibra. Shukra to Ibra, which translates to through struggle you find what you are.
I actually might have heard that one before. I was like, wait a minute.
But unlike Tash in Veilguard, he has been obviously taught the correct meaning of it. That being struggle, through struggle you find what you are, rather than struggle against what you are.
I think then Aldred would approach him. And what have you found so far?
He will speak in Kunlat.
I figured as much, yes.
And
Pulling up Kun.
he will say, I am not Vashidan. That's it.
Okay, yeah.
Vashidan is
No,
not part. It's
yep.
garbage.
Garbage, yeah. It's not garbage. Good. We'll start from there. The next thing, he's going to I'm going to place my hand. He's saying this as he's doing things. He's saying them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to place my hand. Is there like a name for like the gold bar or like the bar that goes across his head? Is there like a name for that? It feels like there would be, but I can't find one. Is the thing.
Let me check.
I was gonna say restraints, but like. There feels like Dragon Age feels like the world to like this is the name of this person, and then these are the things they have around them, each having a name.
They are not given a specific name. They're just a symbol of subjugation and prevent them from using magic freely.
Fair enough. Then I think, yeah, I'm going to put my hand. I'm going to put my hand on your eye restraints. May I do that?
He will say the equivalent to, like, it is done. Which
It is done, yeah.
But so within the Qun, it's very formal in what he's saying. He's not saying like, yeah, go ahead. He's saying like, well, you're in control. That's up for you to decide.
Yeah. No, I think I'd respond. Actually, yeah, I'd initially have his hand, but the second he says it like that and knowing his meaning.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be a good phrase for this, but it really isn't, unfortunately. I guess the phrase I'd say back to him in Kunlat is it is only done with you. Or with your permission, I think is the permission is not really the right way to say that, I think, but it was like it is only done if you let me do it.
Okay.
Which I know is going to be very weird to say to him in Kunlat, because I think weirdly he might sound a bit like Colm, where it might be a bit of a literal trend, like he might be using some of the words of it literally, but he's going to try and use them in Kunlat.
Okay. he will then like just nod and say, it'll translate to word is given. Basically saying, yeah, it's okay for you to do it.
Yep. Nod. Is there a way to remove this? Or is this is just bolted to his skull? Like, that's how I've been thinking it is.
So it depends on the Sarabas and depends on the
Yeah.
Arvarad before them. So
Yeah.
what to do on that one is give me a... So as you're looking for something specific, you're examining him, I would probably say... Give me a wee minute to see the focuses and talents and I can tell you what I would want it to be. I've got an idea of what I'm thinking of, but I just want to see if there's something maybe a little bit more suited to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let us see... It could really be your choice. You could use healing, so cunning healing, or you could use perception seeing.
I'll go with seeing, given that my perception is better.
Alrighty, go ahead and roll it.
That's pretty good. 13.
13. Any stun points?
No, unfortunately. It was a 2
Okay.
or 3 into 6.
So on a 13, what you're going to see is that many Sarabas have different different ways that
Yeah.
masks are put on. The nicer Arvarods, it tends to just be like a golden plate that goes around the head. It's just slid down in place, boom, done, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Some of the kind of more traditional ones, it is a gold plate that is stitched. Slightly kinder method. Or then you get Arvarods who are just complete nasty. Completely menacing. And at that point, those are the ones where it is quite literally bolted to their head. He definitely seems to have had a nastier Arvarad when it comes to this part. But this is where it comes in quite strange. Because he has a combination of showing signs of a pretty gentle Arvarad and then a really, really nasty one. His horns were cut, but then they were filed. They were sanded down so that they wouldn't be dangerous to him. They wouldn't be like, if he reached up absent-mindedly, he wouldn't cut himself or touch a jagged edge. They were buffed, rounded, and they were... his mouth wasn't stitched together, which is another common practice for Sarabas, is to have their mouths stitched together so they can't speak. He hasn't had that, but he has had a gold plate bolted to his face. But yes, it is, they appear to go into like the bone, so like the bolts on the bottom part of the plate seem to go into his cheekbones. And the one above seemed to go obviously into the base of his horns, which to humans would be the kind of the frontal part of the skull.
Yeah, that would probably do a little more damage to a human, I would assume.
Oh, most definitely. Kunari bones are
Yes.
definitely thicker than a human's.
Well, I'm glad his mouth isn't stuck. He's been speaking to me, so I've assumed he hasn't had his mouth. Although, wasn't there that one Sarabas, and I think it's D2 that you can speak to?
Dragon
Is it D2 or D1?
Dragon Age 2,
Like
you do meet a Sarabas, and he does have lines that show his mouth stitched together. But he also
He could still speak.
He does speak, but he's... I mean, if you can do it yourself, if you keep your lips really, really, really close together, you can still get a sentence out. You just do it fairly trickily.
Yeah. I will say he is kind of my baseline for what I'm assuming whenever we see a Sarabas, and I don't know, he seems like got fucked up. So.
Oh, the Sarabas that you meet in Dragon Age 2, he's too far gone. Because no matter what you do, he sets himself on fire.
I haven't spoiled myself about anything about DA2 except for that, and legitimately, I knew nothing about the character or the context, and I was like, that is viscerally upsetting.
I was
But I
messed up
understand.
by that. I was like, why could we not get a Sarabas as a companion? That would have been really cool. But yeah, unfortunately, he is one of the companions that does kind of sets himself alight.
Right.
I was like, you gave us Sebastian Vreel instead of a Sarabas? Like, come on. Sebastian Vreel is not a companion. Like, I absolutely refuse. That is a incel.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm assuming Aldred just has no method by which to remove this without causing an intense amounts of pain, right?
None at all.
Yeah. Rats. Okay. We shall see to getting this removed. I'd rather you see the world as it is, not through
It looks
lies.
quite alarmed by that decision.
Yeah, I figured. I understand. And I think Altrad will give a quiet repetition of the thing he said to him when he deactivated the control rod, which is, you are not Sarabas, you are Tasha. And he'll actually say that 3 times, to try and give a little bit of a. If this is a persuasion check, I could totally be one, but like a small mantra, I guess he's trying to give to this Sarabas.
Okay.
This guy.
I would say make that a persuasion check then.
There are stunt points. There are 2 stunt points.
Ooh, lovely.
Let me see what I got. I'm assuming this is RP.
Yes.
Or role playing. Not much I can do with that. Actually, well. All things considered. So in total, it was a 13 again, but I don't know if this would affect anything. I'd actually like to use the one of the bon mot, and the witty phrase is more just the fact that he's repeating it in a very rhythmic tone, almost a tone that he knew from his days growing up under the Qun, that helped him memorize a lot of his teachings from learning about the Qun. So he's almost trying to blend this. He's almost trying to teach the methods by which the Qun is taught.
Okay.
To kind of move this mantra into Tasha's mind.
Okay. Then yep, I'd say that's fair. Go for it. What was the total?
Yeah. Total was 13.
13. I would say on a 13. Yeah, I'd give you that. As you repeat it over and over and over, he starts to take in those details. And what I'm going to say is he's going to reach up, and the high collar that's attached to the front of his long coat, he's going to unclip the collar. But he doesn't say anything.
I think he'll actually take the collar from him and say to him very quietly, Astar Ash Asala. Rise and seek soul. It's another little mantra for him.
And with that scene, with Tura getting a bath, A nice hot bath with Merrill having a moment with Lucan, with Aldrad having a moment with our lovely Kunari. Actually, wait, no, there is something I would like to do.
Oh dear.
Tura,
Yes.
when you return to your room, you're waiting for maybe 25 more minutes before somebody comes up and they, draw your bath for you. An elven woman. And she is going to come over to you with like a small wrapped bundle. And she's going to hand it to you. And just say, these are things to help you settle. Gives a wee bow and exits the room. Inside, soap, general kind of wash items, that kind of stuff. But then there's also a note. The note is very short. It just says, unable to eliminate target.
Crumples up the piece of paper and throws it at the wall.
Anything else? No?
No, I think I just get into the bath and sink below the water line.
It's that level of heat where it's like another couple of degrees and it would be unbearable heat.
Mm-hmm.
It's just warm enough that as you go into it, you kind of and then you settle in and the heat gets right into you. Yeah, like right up to there. Okay, then in that case, I think that's a comfortable spot to stop for a little 15-20 minute break.
Yeah.
I'm going to let my players, have a bio break, do what they do, grab a drink, grab a snack, those kind of things. We will be back in half an hour. My good, not half an hour. No, that's wrong. 15-20 minutes is what I meant to say there. We're back in 15-20 minutes, folks. Don't go anywhere. We will see you after our halfway break, is why I went straight to half hour. Our halfway break. We'll be back in 15-20 minutes, guys. Don't go anywhere. And we will see you after our break. Hi there, folks. We are back with part 2 of our little session for today. Now, when we left off, Tira had just learned some startling news. Tira, the assassin you paid, was unsuccessful. So, how is Tira feeling about that?
What's icing on a cake, man? What's icing on a cake? You know what I mean? It's just like, of course, sinks a little lower into the tub.
So, needless to say, they're not entirely enthused by it.
I mean, it was just a bonus, right? Like, she didn't know that's what was going to happen when she gave that guy that gold.
Yeah, did he
So,
give
like-
the gold back because he failed? The hoe.
I assume he's dead. Like, I assume he gave it a shot.
No, I don't think he's dead.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
he probably is the one who wrote the note. Who's like, sorry, I tried, but it didn't work out. Taking your gold. Oh.
A lot of travel.
Have it anymore.
Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna disassociate a little further into the tub and
Okay.
shut off for a while.
With all these events coming to an end, let's say an hour or 2 passes. You know, about 8
Can Meryl
o'clock.
do her?
Oh yeah, Meryl,
Can Meryl do her
Meryl, you
thing
had
with
your
Aldred?
thing. You had your thing with Aldred. So
Yes.
Meryl, you can go to Aldred's room to find him, by all means.
Okay. First things first, she's gonna go downstairs to Willem, and just be like,
Can I order baths for all my companions and food for them?
But by all means, yes. What kind of food would you like?
She thinks about what's happened in the day. And she's gonna go, how expensive is the best?
Well, he's going to say. He'll start to kind of walk through kind of like what they have on the menu and stuff like that. Now, just give me a minute while I get to the page that tells me about.
oh yeah, because there are actual menus for places. Abby
There are
showed us
indeed.
that.
There's menus,
Yeah.
there's recommendations, there's everything.
This book really understands the struggles of keepers, where it's just like, I need
Oh,
a
yeah.
menu, god damn it.
yeah.
Like,
So nice.
So he'll say, look, I can give you the basics, you know, like your standard, a bowl of stew and a loaf of bread. A loaf of bread for the table would be 5 copper pieces. A bowl of stew for one person would be another 5 copper pieces. If you want something a bit better, a bit more, you know, like a bit of a meal for everyone. I can do 3 courses for everyone, 25 copper per person.
Let's do that one.
Okay. Would you prefer it to be beef, pork, or chicken? I can also do like a good hearty fish for you as well, but I would have to add a little bit to the price for that fish. Is, you know, our specialty. It's a bit more expensive.
She's gonna think about the fact that the chicken are clearly overpopulating this town, so she'll go with chicken. She's gonna be like, I'm gonna help with that. My own little way.
If you're wanting chicken, then I can do it for slightly cheaper. I can do it for 20 copper per person. We have chickens everywhere.
I noticed that there's a limit on how many you can bring in here.
Yep, massive amounts of chickens here.
Yep. Okay, I can do that.
Okay, so a bowl of soup to begin with, loaf of bread for the table, chicken, roasted vegetables, roasted potatoes, roasted in goose fat, of course, and then at the end of it, slices of honey cakes, honey rolls, that kind of thing. And any drinks you want, I'll supply your first drink at the table for free with that as well. So is that for
Perfect.
all 8 of your companions, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so that would be, and the account's up, so it would be 8 times 20, which would be
160. I already did the math.
160 copper, and then an extra 5 copper pieces for the loaf of bread.
Okay.
So about 165 copper.
She's just gonna round up to 2 silver. Because
Okay.
that's close enough to 200 copper, and she'll, because he's being so nice and gracious, she will give a little tip with it, and she'll just give those 2.
Okay. He'll take it and say, thank you very much. It's very much appreciated. I will get the table prepared, the food prepared, and I'll send someone to your rooms when the food's ready.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
You are very welcome.
And don't forget the baths. So many of my companions are quite filthy right now.
I will make sure it is my first priority.
And then she's gonna quickly grab her pack from her room, and then she'll go to Aldred's room and just do a little knock.
I think hearing the knock, Aldred will turn to Taja. Sit with your thoughts for a moment.
Nods, sits down, gets very zoned.
Turn around. And just I think he knows it's Meryl, because I feel like Aldred's is a weirdly detailed person. So he's. I think every, I don't know if Tira has, but I know everyone else has knocked on his door at least once.
Yeah.
Just throughout this, so I think he's kind of figured out Meryl knocks like this. This is Sir Rowan. This is Vessa. Don't think Tira has, so he doesn't know Tira's yet, but he associates this sound with Meryl.
She's
Fair.
a very, very quiet knock.
I know. That's what it's just like.
Little tiny one.
It's like either I'm hallucinating or Meryl is knocking at my door. Evening, Meryl.
Hi.
And she just kind of points at his face, and she points to the cut that he got on his face. Yeah, I made note of that because it was when he did that really big strike, he like pushed his face into a freaking blade. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just bisect this person and cut my face. She's gonna point at it and just be like,
You need to have that cleaned.
I guess you are right. I just hadn't really thought about it.
You don't think about those things very often.
and she's just gonna walk in.
Hey,
And she'll like kneel on one of the beds and like tap it for him to sit because he's so much taller than her.
The moment that you enter the room, Tishath is immediately like standing up.
You don't have to stand up for me.
He looks to you, Aldrad, as if to get you to confirm this. He will sit back down.
we're working on something.
I'm
Shut the
going
door.
to assume it's going to take time.
He's gonna sit down. If I am any judgment from my own experiences, it may take years.
Well, no time like the present to start.
And she'll just like start like cleaning the wound, putting like an ointment on it, patching it up. And as she's doing it, she's like,
That was really foolish of you to get yourself cut like that.
It's foolish of you to get so close.
You needed healing, that's what I do. It's my job.
And it's my job to get hurt and hurt people.
I agree with the second one, not with the first.
Figured you wouldn't, but He looks to Shoth. Old habits, sir. I say they die hard, but hasn't really died yet.
She'll kind of follow his indication to look at Tashoth, and she'll just very quietly address him and just be like, Tashoth, do you know trade tongue?
Again, Tashath will look at you, Aldrad, as if looking for permission to speak.
He'll say in Kunlat, God, wait, I had a phrase. I know there's a phrase for this, but effectively he will, like, when he looks at him, he'll be like, no need to keep looking. Speak of your own accord.
I speak a little of your tongue.
And she's gonna kind of like, because at first she was like facing Aldred to like clean his face, and then she's gonna like do like the little shuffle to face him, and just be like, to my understanding, mages in your culture are very feared because you don't know quite how to control your magic well. Our other companion, Lucas, asked me to teach him some things to help control his magic, and if you would like, I'd be willing to teach you as well.
You would instruct Sarabas to become more... And he's going to look to you, Aldrad, like, what is the word? And he repeats the beginning part of Sarabas.
Ooh,
So Sarabas translates to dangerous. He's basically
dangerous thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
he's asking more dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah. I do not know the word.
He'll turn to. He'll like kind of get in both. Like he says, turn. I say turn to Meryl, but kind of like in between them.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to think the training will make him more dangerous. Is the word you're looking for?
Yes.
And she kind of nods, and she's gonna like get off the bed. And is Chainbreaker in here?
Yeah, it's on the side of the bed.
She's gonna take it and hold it kind of carefully and go and kind of like sit next to Shoth, and she'll go, magic is like any weapon. On its own, it's not gonna do anything. The only thing that's dangerous is whoever's wielding it. If you don't know how to wield a sword correctly, it can be dangerous to you, it can be dangerous to others. But if you know how to wield it, and you have the skills, you can choose how you use it. That doesn't make you more dangerous, it just makes you in more control. So if you don't want to hurt someone, you don't use your magic then. If you do, you use it. But that's what the training is for. You don't have to take my training if you don't want to, but I don't think you should be afraid of who you are.
The Kyun tells us we are not supposed to utilize what we have learned unless we are taught to by our Arvarad. Are you my new Arvarad?
She's kind of look at Aldred to know how to navigate this, because this is something culturally that's really out of her realm. So she doesn't know how to really approach this with Tashoth.
Yeah, I'm going to get the exact words so that Jack knows specifically what he's going to be telling. There we go. Arvarad. Okay. The Arvarad's a literal translation into the trade tongue would be one who holds back evil.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not me. Because you're not evil. You're just you.
I would like to be trained.
Okay. Then when I train Luca, I'll come get you and we'll do group lessons.
This one you call Luca. Will I be made
Yeah.
to kill him?
No.
Will he
You
be
don't-
made to
you-
kill me?
No.
Then how are we to decide who will be the victor and the greatest student?
That's just based on your own personal growth. Like with the sword, you can train a lot and not have to kill anybody and then apply it in different situations where it might be necessary. But when you're training, you don't have to kill anybody to prove that you're the best. You just train, get the muscle memory, all that.
As you wish.
Okay.
And she'll go put Chainbreaker back. And she'll like start to kind of walk towards leaving the room, but she'll pause next to Aldred. And like there's definite conflict on her face, which she doesn't often show. And then she'll just very quietly ask him,
Why did you cry for me and not for Osric?
This isn't even like Jack deciding how long it is to take. This is how long Aldred actually takes to respond to this, but it's clear he's not dodging the question, if that makes sense.
"Oh yeah,
Like, there's a long pause, but by the way, when Meryl, like, turned back to Aldred to, like, leave, there is this, like... He had a look of, like, I want to say, like, not fascination, but like admiration for what she was saying. Like what she was saying, like captivated him as well. So he was fully listening as well. But saying that he fully breaks eye contact for a while and I am not known to shed tears in the face of death. I have been raised in it. I have been molded by it.
dang it, Jason. Sorry, I'm so different space, and I think I know where his brain went.
See,
Sorry.
no, I was looking for a better word. I haven't looked at the Discord. Am I gonna assume it's the Bane comment?
I was sitting here going, Bran, don't say molded by it.
I'm so sorry. I was like
no.
focused, and
You
then
are
I
good.
noticed Jason, and I was like, oh no, his brain went where mine went.
No, here's the great thing. The reason I paused after saying that was because I'm like, there's got to be a better word than mold. There has to be. There has to be, and I couldn't find one.
You know, if I ever set a city on fire that you guys are in, I'm going to have to fight the urge to come back and burn with your city. You merely
Okay.
adopted the dark.
I was.
Somebody call the Templars. There appears to be a mage on the loose. Bane would be wild in Dragon Age.
God, yeah, he would be. Oh.
Oh, imagine Bane hopped up on Red Lyrium.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
Yeah, people, wait till we get to the Red Lyrium parts of Dragon Age. Y'all are gonna fucking plots.
Oh gosh, great. I'm gonna have to look up red lyrium now.
No, it's like super crack.
Oh gosh.
PCP. What the hell's PCP? You ever seen the Hulk? Yeah, picture the Hulk, but he can't stop.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyway,
I'm so
yeah, no,
sorry,
you're good.
Jack.
Anyway,
Perfect derailing.
we're having a cute moment where we figure out that Aldred has a crush on Meryl. Go.
I understood our friends. What he said about being made to kill those you are taught with. This is how I was raised. But it was not how I lived. I knew someone who, if I say taught me, it means I understand it. I still don't. But they were teaching me how to live. Or how to live outside of Q. This person, they are no longer with us. So too were they, drowned in death, and it would claim them as well. And before they sank through that oblivion, they said to me, no matter what happens, it'll be fine. And then I watched them wither away. Needless to say, I think of them often. Far too often. And he completely unconsciously is kind of grabbing around his like neck.
Mm-hmm.
You see he's kind of, you can see the necklace with like a ring on it
Mm-hmm.
that he's kind of missing because he's just kind of choked up basically. But yeah. I know everything will be fine. But it will be fine with you here too.
Respond to that. She's taking this long to respond as well,
Yeah.
because there's so much going on in her mind right now.
Ask hard questions. You get some hard answers. Okay.
Wow, how should I respond to that? So I've got notes of how she's feeling right now with the party, and it's so complicated, and that just made it even more complicated with how she
I figured
feels.
as much. You don't get to care for us and then say, "Oh, it'll be fine when I die." No.
That's not how that works.
Again, she takes a long second of thinking. And like in a voice that's very reminiscent of when everybody first met her, just very like a hollow, almost mechanical response. She's just gonna say, I'm so sorry if I've made you care for me. And then she's gonna walk out.
I think there is this moment of startling, it's like fall, all things considered for Aldrad, kind of startlingly quick and motion, where as she turns to leave, he just, not hard but quick, just kind of grabs her hand before she leaves. Do not apologize for that.
She's just not gonna respond and just wait for him to let go.
He gives her hand a squeeze and lets her go.
She'll walk out. She'll go back to her room.
At the point that you go back to your room, an hour, maybe two passes. Is there anything you guys would like to do? After
Take a bath!
A bath is brought to each of you and it is drawn. Each of you is given a beautiful, stunning bath. In fact, Tura, you come out of your bath only for a chambermaid to come up and refill the bath. Tura's just like, well, it would be rude not to.
Wonderful.
With the party now, at this point, I would say this is safe to call it, you know, you can at least get the health back for taking a breather at this point.
That's
5
D6 plus con, right?
something to do with 5. No, it's not just a D6. It's I was right at the page. Where I was right at you. Here we are.
Write this down in my health.
Taking a breather. 5 plus con plus level.
Okay.
But it's just a flat amount. It's not even like a D6.
Nope.
That means I get 10 more health. I'm at 27 hit points. I'm unstoppable! Throw me in the fighting ring!
That's still
You
less
are
than
indeed.
half of mine.
She's just a little guy. She's just a little guy.
I'm just a bulb.
Speedy!
I'm just a bulb.
But
Tiny
you don't get
baby.
mana back with a breather, right?
Don't get mana back with a breather. No.
Yeah. Cool.
I've only got 59 59 resources, my friends, and they are my HP pool. As long as I have one, I have one to spend.
So, with that being the case, we now come to afterwards. At about the 2-hour mark, somebody will come to each of your rooms, letting you know that your table has been set and dinner is being served. Tara chooses to stay underwater.
Knock, knock, knock when she notices Tira's not there!
Yeah. Huh?
Tara does not answer.
Alfred will look to Meryl. Should I knock?
is louder than mine. Maybe she doesn't hear mine. Scoots.
It's not like there. Okay, you know the angry parent knock? Not that, but like there is this like it's a gentle knock. It's just he's big, so it's gonna sound like a thunk thunk thunk.
What?
I understand you need to be alone, but you also need to eat.
Do you want me to make you a plate and bring it up?
Not hungry. I'll just eat in the morning.
I'm gonna bring you a plate just in case.
You know as well as I do, Tyr, you do not get a choice with Meryl around.
There's just no.
I'm gonna walk away. Yeah, does not wait. He knows.
Tishan is going to stand and look at Meryl's, not Meryl, at Tura's door. Why does the little one not come?
She's... Do the Kunari have a word for mental trauma?
It's called Kunari.
It's simply being one. You heard of this thing called generational trauma? You ever heard of something just called, I guess, like, cultural trauma?
Like
I don't know.
culture.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of built into the culture. You kind of have to get traumatized in some regard. I think Aldrad will... say... Ooh, that would be good. I have a bunch of like phrases I'm trying to look here. Hang on.
Take your time. So, Tura, are you staying in your room the entire night? Not leaving at all?
Probably not.
Okay. I had a bauble
be
and now I've
honest.
lost it. To be honest,
I'm gonna go
what?
check my dog real quick.
That's fine.
Yep. I think what Aldrad says to Shop is he says, oh, my pronunciation of Kunlat is going to be interesting. I'm going to try my best here. Murad Astarit, Murad it was it, Avan Akun. The tide rises, the tide falls, the sea is unchanged. The little one needs time to herself.
Tishan looks at you, thinks, then nods. Like, I accept this answer. And then he'll just turn and he'll make his way back to where there's food.
Talking to Shop makes it sound like Eldred has a high cunning, but it's just because Kunlat's so damn poetic.
So Tura, while they are sitting down to dinner, what's Tura doing?
Just kind of curled in bed, like staring at the wall. Just kind of parsing through things, having little flashes of past events, and trying to keep herself steady so that no one can hear her outside the wall crying.
Make me we're going to call it a willpower self-discipline.
Yeah. 7.
7.
Hey.
Not for them, but eventually you get to a point where it's a bit more difficult to keep a control of the noises you make.
Yeah.
Is
What's
there...
happening? I just barely missed.
Tira's having a cry.
Okay. That is so freaking valid. And eventually we hear this?
Not you guys, but other people would.
Mm.
And at this, there would be a knock on your door. A very, very soft knock. And the voice that's going to speak is quite lilting. Very pleasant sounding. Is everything okay in there?
She'll take a second to collect herself, and she'll just be like,
I just I
Hesitation often decries that things are not okay. I'm not going to invade, but if you would like to speak, I am a good ear. If you would not like to speak, I will carry on walking and pretend that what I heard was the door squeaking.
the second one.
Very well. There are many who say that a problem shared is a problem halved, and many who do not believe this. I do not believe this, but I do believe a problem shared is a problem which weighs less heavy upon the mind. So, if you will not share with a stranger, I recommend sharing with a friend. But what do I know? I just play music.
Oh shit! Wait a minute.
And then the sound of some soft boots walking down the corridor.
Hero will take a deep breath, with their face and just kind of sit up, like they're gonna get up, but then just kind of curl back into themselves.
Nothing else?
No.
Okay.
I'm having food now. I want to take care of Tira.
At this point, as you guys get to the table is well appointed. Loads is groaning with, food and stuff. As well as the bread, there's also ham, cheese, things like that. Like, essentially your basic charcuterie. Right? As a pick at this while the rest of the food is being cooked and brought out to you. Each of you has a bowl of soup of some kind. I don't know what you would call it in America. We call it red lentil. Right? Lentil soup. It's the best soup you'll ever have.
Yeah.
What, Jess? One day when I meet you, I'll make you lentil soup. But proper Scottish lentil soup. Because as we mace things, I'm assuming you lot do it right. I've got to get my wee stabs at it because I get made fun of for being Scottish all the time and for having a wee dookie wee country. So do you know what? I need to make fun of
So
one thing I
valid.
can make fun of, and the only thing I can really make fun of is the fact that American food is not.
I mean, there's so much more to make fun of America with. Like, do you need me to supply you with the jokes? Because I got plenty.
The point is,
Turn on the news.
it's less low-hanging fruit and more like I'm accidentally stepping on fruit that's on the ground.
That's fair.
Ain't hanging no more.
It ain't hanging.
Did I actually? Before we came down, I wanted to mention this. I think if Tishath could be convinced of it, Aldrad would probably have given him some an extra set of clothing he might have had on him, or just the clothes that he wears casually. He would have just given to him, just because I'm a little uncertain as to what he's wearing, but I can only imagine it's if anything, enough to keep him modest. This one will be nope, here's just I think the best way to describe it is like the homely clothes that you start off with in Baldur's Gate 3 is kind of what Aldrad has on him, so he would give those to...
So what Tishath is currently wearing is... It's like a long black robe. There was at one point... so it's like a long black robe from here, but it comes up to about just under his chest. Then there's chains which go from here up, and they would attach to the collar that he had. As he's removed the collar, the chains just hang down. So essentially all of him is covered except from essentially the pectorals up.
Yeah. I think Aldred would just have given him basically an extra set of clothes he had on him.
Okay.
I'm sensing Tishath is around Aldred's size, given just Qunari, but
he's slightly shorter than Aldred, but he's coming in at about the 6'4" mark.
Yeah, he's shorter than Aldred, but Aldred's a Sten.
Yeah.
So I think, when we go down, Tishath is in better looking clothes. Maybe not better fitting, but...
Okay.
Just because Andre doesn't want him walking around in just his, effectively, like, just his Sarabas clothing.
Understandable.
The bolt head is enough. Like...
Poor guy.
So with Tura in her room, what are the rest of you doing? Meryl, I know that you said that you're taking food up to Tura, so I'm going to assume that you've already set into motion that series of events. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Aldred, is there anything you'd like to do at the table?
I think he'll wait for Meryl to get back from dropping the food off, but as he's like at the table now, he is going to try and make... I'd love to have these RP moments, but given there's 3 NPCs at the table and also Vesa, I think in this moment he's just trying to connect very briefly, not like small talk, but like a quick check-in with each of the people at the table currently.
Okay.
To be where are we right now? And not like, oh, we're in Jainen, but like where's our minds where our feet is at, or our minds...
What's my approval rating like with you?
I guess you could say that. Aldred is very much more of the... He likes to check in on people, so he's making sure... We've all gone through some shit.
Yeah.
But he assumed Lucas talked with Meryl. But the people that have gone through some shit, he's as checked in as he can be. Tira needs their time.
Okay.
So he wants to check in with the rest of everyone. It's like, hey, how is this affecting you?
Then Aldred, with that, as you're kind of doing that, eventually like the sound of music playing is going to start. And you'll hear a very, very Jaskier, but if Jaskier had an accent. Vibes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming this evening and welcome to the Griffin's Wing. I am Riadan. I am your whimsical musician for today. I am your teller of tales, your bard extraordinaire, and I will be taking you through a journey of the senses. But for now, please sit back and listen to the sounds of this music that I play for you. And he starts to play on this lute. It's a beautifully ornate lute. Has like a reinforced spine down the back of the bell of the lute chamber. Beautiful work put into it. He himself is wearing a very... So for those of you that know The Witcher, think less Jaskier and more Dandelion.
Dandelion. Yeah.
We're talking pinks and purples, folks. We're talking deep blues and a white puffy shirt. We are talking a bard. The song he's playing, it is not that song, but it is of the vibes of a grand arcing story, telling a tale of a great and brave, noble adventure. Very much along the lines of, toss a coin to your witcher. That kind of slow building crescendo into a really powerful chorus. Going to Merrill.
Mm-hmm.
You're walking up to Tura's room.
Yeah.
With this tray in hand. With this, little bowl of soup, a little bit of bread, some meat, some cheese, and maybe like a leg from the chicken that was bought for Tura.
And a honey cake, because that sounds delicious.
And a frickin' honey cake. And a honey cake, because honey cakes are beautiful.
Right.
And as you get to Tura's room, there is somebody standing outside of it. Dressed like a chambermaid, but the weird thing is that as you step up and you see them there, they've got a hand behind their back. And in the hand behind their back, there's a long, thin stiletto dagger. Tura, you're going to hear a knock on the door.
I said I don't want any.
Can I cast something?
You can certainly try.
I think seeing the knife, she kind of panics and drops the tray. So there's lots of clattering. And she's gonna try and cast Mind Blast to just try and push this figure away from the door.
So they're a fair wee bit away from you. They're about maybe 10, 11 yards away from you. You're at one end of the corridor, they're at the other end. So I don't think Mind Blast would work, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Mind Blast is within kind of a small area of you, I think. Let me double check that.
While you're doing that, I think Tira would have gotten up and opened the door to yell at Harold.
Okay. You open the door to yell, and as they as they answer and they go to pull their hand from behind their back, that's when the tray drops. Tura, you see Merrill with a tray of just scattered food at their feet, hand reeled back, ready to cast something.
Let me look at my spells and see if I can reach her. Where are my
I
spells?
looked away for 2 seconds to look for my fucking Witcher books, and I checked out for a minute. What the fuck happened?
I'm just trying to enjoy this beautiful
happened. That's what happened.
I'm just trying to enjoy this beautiful motion picture, and all I can hear is this hamster squeaking. Let's see. No, I'm going the wrong way. We're looking at number 5.
There they are. Okay, Mind Blast, Mind Blast. It's within 50 yards of me. I can cast it.
Oh, then
Jesus,
yeah, you're
God,
fine. You're fine.
Okay, let me roll for this. I need to roll.
Fail.
What?
I said fail.
Do you
No!
want Tura to die?
No, not allowed. Not happening.
Target number 12.
Okay.
I'm not scared.
Alright. Oh, frick yeah! Frick yeah! That's 16! With stun points. Do I get to do stun points for a spell? Finally? Finally?
Indeed.
Yes!
Spell stun point.
Yes! Stuns for spells, where are they? Dang it, they're not
For-
the other ones.
That's weird.
It is really weird and annoying.
They're in the magic section, right before
Yep.
the spell list.
Okay,
Stunts
page
for
107?
spells. That would be 106.
Okay.
How many stun points do you have?
I got 4.
So you can do
Yes,
fast
yes.
casting, so after that spell resolves, you can cast another spell immediately. You could do Mighty Spell, where it does, if the spell does damage, one target of the spell of your choice takes an extra d6 of damage.
This one doesn't do damage, it just pushes them away.
Skillful Casting, you can reduce the mana cost of the spell by 1. or puissant casting. You can increase the spell power of your spell by 1 per stunt point.
Can I do imposing spell?
Oh, jeez, I thought that said 5. Imposing spell is much more dramatic used until the beginning of its turn. Within anyone attempting to make a melee attack against you must make a... Yeah, by all means.
Yeah. So she drops this tray, and knowing how little she is, she's gonna just scream, hoping that, downstairs they'll hear her as she casts this spell and just blasts this person as far away as she can, and then she's running. She's running to Tira.
That is going to be a 9 against your spell power.
That will definitely not hit, especially because it's a spirit spell. So I've got an extra 2, so my thing is 16.
Damn. Okay, in that case...
Yeah!
In that case, they immediately...
Don't touch my friends.
They drop the dagger and put their hand to their head, screaming. As they scream, Tura, Meryl, you guys, obviously you're right there. Aldrad, you would be able to hear the scream.
All the screams.
And so would Luca, as you both look at each other.
Okay, I know we have the same movement, but there is the funniest thing in the world of just picking Luca up and moving with me. But I think in this instance, he'll pick Luca up, put him out just so that he can get out faster, and he's booking it. In case if Luca wants to follow, he can follow. He's not going to force him into the line of fire.
And on that note of running towards danger, I would like to end our session there. Next
Y'all,
section.
I don't know if I have my...
If you don't have your what?
I have my weapon on me. I'm just gonna punch this dude.
At no point have you specified you picked up Chainbreaker.
No, I didn't.
Thank you very much for everybody coming to see us. And thanks for watching today, guys. It's been great fun. It's lovely to be back. I needed that wee holiday. It was good. I'm not going to lie. It was lovely to see my family. I have such a cool story to tell. When we took my daughters, we did the Princess Pavilion. You know, where they dress up as a princess and they go meet a princess. Now, how this works is it's a random princess. You don't get to pick which princess you meet. Right? Random princesses. And it just, every 15-20 minutes that it's on, they just kind of circulate a princess out, right? So my daughters are dressed up as Moana and Merida. My youngest daughter, Astrid, is dressed up as Merida, right? Because we're the Scottish family. Scottish princess. Now, we're waiting outside for our time slot and we see Snow White and Ariel go in. We see Sleeping Beauty come out. So I'm sitting going, okay, cool. We get inside, get around the whole queue, and then we're kind of standing there talking to the lady who's kind of like, okay, stand in here, don't look round, it's a surprise kind of thing, so stand here, blah, blah, blah. And then she says, so who do you think it is? And I go, well, it's probably going to be one of the major 3, right? It's got to be like Ariel, Snow White, or Belle, right? Those are the kind of standard ones, right? And my wife was like, I think it'll be Snow White. And then we asked my daughter, Emily, and she goes, I don't know. Because she's 9. She doesn't care about princesses anymore. And we asked my daughter, Astrid, and she wants to see Elsa. But Elsa's not a princess.
She's a queen.
No, she's not a queen anymore either. Because it's now Anna that's
true.
queen.
That's true.
Elsa's just a meh. Elsa's just a meh now. Right? So then they go, right, we're ready, you can step round. We step round the corner. And we were told that we were the first Scottish family to have someone dressed as Merida to also meet Merida.
So fun.
So we have this amazing, and the lassie playing Merida lost the plot. She was like, I've never had somebody dressed as me. And we were just like, this is just fucking fate right there. Amazing. It was a great break. I'm really glad to be back. It's great to be back with World Tree Quests. It really, truly is. How are we for next week, folks?
I think I should be fine.
I have nothing on my calendar.
Yep, nothing on my calendar.
Okie dokie, that is grand. There will be one Saturday we do miss out, which will be August the 2nd, because I will be in Norway.
Woo!
So we won't be able to see that. But yes, it is great to be back. It's phenomenal. If you like what you've seen here today, folks, do go and check out all of our social medias. Go and check out World Tree Quest, pretty much wherever you can have social media, you'll be able to find us there. You can always check out all my other personal social medias at Oops All Brands. If you go to one of them, you'll see a little link tree. Click that. You'll be able to follow me everywhere and what I do. I'm going to get back into regular streaming. Not regular streaming, regular content creation. Talking about TTRPGs, talking about D&D, talking about world building. I'm thinking about doing like a, DM masterclass. How to do this, how to do this bit, what this, how I do this, how I do that. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that kind of thing. And that's about it for me. So I'm going to pass on to my players now and let them plug themselves, because they are fantastic at what they do, and they deserve the chance to show it off. So, to yourself, Jess, anything you would like to plug at all?
I am here on Wednesdays playing a little druid for To the Skies. And I'm in a thing with Wacky, but I'll let him plug that. But other than that, I'm here and I'm happy.
Fantastic. Moving right along, we get to Wacky. Jason.
Hi. First, I always like to plug Talking Crit. If you're interested in trying a bunch of indie TTRPGs, it's a quick and easy way to do it. There's always one-shots getting run. You can find them on pretty much everywhere social media-wise, and their Discord is super fun and friendly, so highly recommend. Other than that, Dicey Tables Podcast, wherever you can follow social media. Dicey Tables Pod sometimes, depends on how many letters I was allowed. But keep an eye on that, because there's going to be some movement, and 2 people from this show will be on it. So,
Ooh, sounds lovely. Fantastic. Thank you very much for that, Jason. And moving right along, last and most certainly not least, Jack, anything for yourself at all?
Still writing a book, but I do plan on posting a little more on my TikTok and YouTube. Jacklish, basically everywhere. If that doesn't work, replace the L with an X, and it's Jack X. I don't know. So I just sometimes Jacklish was already taken.
Jacksish.
Jacksish. I do post just kind of small TikToks that just my brain recently, given recent world events, my brain likes to try and just do little literary analyses, but not anything serious. I'm still working on a small TikTok that I want to send out, which is going to be Baldur's Gate 3 is just Ratatouille again. I'm going to work on that, and if you let me cook.
I love that.
I don't think I want to know what you're cooking when you're comparing Baldur's Gate 3 to... Oh my fucking god, it is Ratatouille.
Anyone can cook, my friends. Anyone can cook.
Tadpole.
Oh my fucking god!
It doesn't just stop there. It doesn't stop there.
I love that so much.
This, friends, is
Oh,
why you
wow.
do literary analysis. Work your brain out a little bit.
English major, I'm right
Fantastic.
there with you.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that, Jack. I think. Also remember to go and follow the lovely Abby over on Witty X Witch. See some amazing cosplay content as well over there. Absolutely phenomenal. If that's everything from my players, then that's everything from me, then that's everything from us. So thanks for coming to see us today, folks. I've been your DM of Doom, Son of Asgard. No, not Son. I keep fucking...
Oops, all brands!
Oops, all brands. Taking you through the wonderful Dragon Age TTRPG system by Green Ronin. With our wonderful Dragon Age secrets. I have been your keeper of secrets, your teller of tales, your... storyteller extraordinaire. With me today with my lovely cast, we have had Stories from the Roses, we've had TTV Wacky Man, and we have had Jacksish or Jacklish or whichever one you'd like to be known as. From all of us here at World Tree Quests, good night, stay safe, don't answer the door if you think they may have a knife. Also, don't pull a finny. Good night, folks. Good night.